Welcome back. The Obama administration says it has big plans for small business. With this segment of the market at the forefront of hiring, the president has outlined some steps to help small businesses. My next guest received a Small Business Association, or SBA, loan to restart her own company and has firsthand experience of just how critical such loans are to small business. Alexandra Lebenthal joins me, president and CEO of Lebenthal & Co. She is now with us on set. Alex, it's great to have you back on the program.
Thanks, Maria. Good to be here.
And before we get to small business and really your experience in terms of getting the loan and really getting, business ongoing, quite a lot of headline risk in terms of the muni bond market. You have been a student of this business for a long time and know it better than most. Can you characterize the environment for us right now for muni bonds?
It's a very interesting time. Obviously, state budgets, city budgets are in the paper all the time, causing a lot of uncertainty. Muni market is actually a little bit more sanguine about the ups and downs that we see in the paper, but there have been a lot of things that have gone on, and in fact the market has changed. We have a whole new taxable sector of the municipal market, which has actually expanded the market overall, so that's been a good thing.
So when people see things going on like in California and, worries about New York and a budget deficit on a state level, I mean, should they be wanting to invest in muni bonds for New York, knowing that the financials are so troubled?
If I were on TV 10 years ago with you, I would say, don't worry, you can buy insured bonds backed by full faith and taxing power. And today, I think that one has to be much more careful in how we talk about municipals because bond insurance is no longer a factor. However, it's very scary. People pick up the paper, they think, I live there. What does that mean for me? At the same time, bear in mind that a general obligation is backed by the full faith and taxing power. And when they're doing budgets, there is an understanding that debt service is the most critical thing on that budget.
All right. So it seems like you feel okay about it, even though we are seeing some troubled situations, but certainly not as sure as 10 years ago.
Right. And it's sad to say that 10 years ago you and I would have been sitting here that we've both.
But we were.
Yes, we were. But, the important thing to remember as well is that municipal bonds are really for individual investors something you should stick with high-grade credits. Don't start getting out there on the spectrum and going into high yield unless you have some type of professional management. Stick with general obligations, stick with A-rated, AA-rated, AAA-rated, and it will give you more sleep at night.
All right, let me switch gears because you lost some sleep at night when you were going through your own issues with small business. Your firm received a Small Business Association loan to restart the company.
Right.
And you have first-hand experience here, how critical the loan was to you. Tell me how the process was.
Well, this is something that I've become extremely passionate about because I do have access to talk about issues that I think are critical for women in business, for small business, for other people, and obviously I understand the capital markets and how they work. The SBA loan process, to me, is one of the most simplest and obvious ways to help get the economy going again. This is a program that has actually always returned money to the government. How many times do we actually say that? It is cost-effective capital. It's capped at prime plus 2 3/4. For small businesses that are out there looking for capital, they may encounter mezzanine loans and other capital structures that are going to charge them 20%, 25%. So this is a way for them to get access to capital. It's also a way for the bank or the lender that gives the loan to have a guarantee. There's a government guarantee. It was 75%. Now it's 90%. Actually, it was 90% as part of the stimulus plan. Those provisions have just expired, and the administration wants to renew those, but like a lot of things, kind of stuck in Congress right now.
So how tough was it for you? When was this? Was a couple of years ago, so it was a different environment. We should point that out.
Right, and again, bear in mind that while we were a new business, I am not an average business person out there who's kind of struggling to figure out the environment and the situation. So I had access to different sources that I could go to. There are banks that make small business loans. There are lenders, like there's a company called Newtek, for example, that makes small business loans and then securitizes those loans, but also offers other small business services to small businesses. But it's a lot of paperwork, Maria, a lot.
Do you think today that it has become easier for small business, or is it still very tough?
I think it's still very tough. And I mean, look, the large banks are very careful. They should be. We don't want them, going into areas that would cause more trouble. But if you're a small business owner, you don't understand the system to begin with, there are only certain banks that make small business loans. So it's still very, very tough. And again, I think that until there is capital in the system, not just within the big banks and big corporations, but with fashion designers that are trying to get new inventory, with restaurant owners, with, small factories. Until that dollar gets out into the system, they're not going to be able to spend the next dollar to hire the next person or produce more inventory or what have you. So,
how would you characterize the general economy right now?
I'm sure you have a lot of people on every day talking about that. I think that there are a lot of signs of improvement, and I see it here and there, but we still need to take it to the next level. And again, it is really, I see that it is the small businesses that are going to be what's finally going to help raise the tide. And unless Washington starts acting and acts on some of these bills, I don't see that happening. And that, to me, is a tragedy.
Yeah. All right, Alex, great to have you on the program. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Alexandra Lebenthal here, joining us, Lebenthal and Company, President and CEO.